It looks like the Gina Carano lawsuit against the Walt Disney Company is probably going to court. Let's talk about what happens between now and then and how Gina has responded to Disney's motion to dismiss. You're on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is double amateur legal correspondent, Mr. VashSky. Vash, can you open a PDF for me?
Yes. You want me to convert it to, or, go through the whole line of jokes right there? Yes, I do know something about law, though, so hopefully I can provide at least some manner of context or input, or I don't know, something.
Yeah, what's the super short version of what is going on here as far as the Gina Carano lawsuit goes? I'm giving you 30 seconds. Let's go.
Basically, we all know the story. Gina Carano was fired over comments made on social media. Now she is obviously filing a lawsuit because, well, she lost out on a lot of opportunities surrounding that firing. And obviously that's the issue, of course, but in her words, she was definitely let go. And so she is fired for, unequal treatment, unlawful treatment, and so forth. She is alleging that her coworkers, her male coworkers, weren't treated the same way. Yeah. And obviously that's the grounds for a suit.
Yeah, she's suing for all of those reasons, and Elon Musk is paying for that lawsuit. And Disney has responded by saying, well, we have First Amendment's right, too. Won't you think about the corporation? The question, of course, becomes California state law that was originally intended to protect communists in California, whether or not that's going to be applied here. Let's go to this tweet, however, from Ms. Gina Carano there with 1.3 million followers. I'm one of them. Are you? Anyway, Disney. You have a problem. But this is just to give context. By the way, there's Gina Carano with her smiling face and that yellow dress that seems to show up in so many YouTube thumbnails. Disney says Gina Carano misconstrues why the company fired her, except that I'm pretty sure Disney has said exactly why they fired her. Also, there's some question about whether or not she was promised with verbal contracts to say, yes, we are going to give you this show and things like that. But we won't get into the content of what Disney says. Comments came in a reply memorandum filed on Thursday in support of Disney's motion to dismiss the lawsuit. It was filed by Disney, so it's Disney supporting Disney. Anyways, we're going to go straight to Gina's comments here. Disney, you have a problem. You call others what you yourselves are. You do and are the things you tell others not to do or be. You demand apologies and can never figure out how to give one. Vash, that's perfect, by the way. We're going to read the rest of it. But what is the thing we often talk about here with the Walt Disney Company and their inability to fix things?
No, it's their inability to not only apologize, but to turn course at all. I mean, it's like once they're dead set on a path, they just can never break from it. And it's so frustrating because a little bit of zigzag there goes a long way. Nope, we're the Walt Disney Company. We're always right, even if we change course later on and don't actually admit it. It's right. Crazy.
The closest that they've ever come is when they fired Bob Chapek, and now anything that they change, they blame on all that extra content spend that was definitely approved by Bob Iger, who said he was the head of creative, even while Bob Chapek was head of the company. That's the strangest resignation ever, by the way, to say, I'm quitting, but I'm going to be in charge of an entire aspect of the corporation. All of that was Bob Chapek's decisions. When we're fixing all this stuff at Marvel, when we're reducing budgets and reducing output, but increasing quality. By the way, the triangle there, I would love to see how that works. You can either have it fast or you can have it good. There's another one in there. Doesn't work at all. Disney is not aware of a problem that they have ever created. Disney is not aware of anything that they have ever done wrong. Disney is only aware of somebody that they fired because he wasn't quite following the Disney mandates here. And I think Gina Carano is whether or not she's intentionally trying to go for it, she's pointing to that idea here. My case should not be dismissed. I deserve the right to present this to my peers and judge in the court of law. What's more important here is that I would like very much for this case to go to discovery and for all of Disney's dirty laundry to be aired out publicly, personally. Vash, what about you?
If it does get to discovery, I cannot wait to read those documents because, the Walt Disney Company, there's a little bit of hubris there. And I know for a fact they thought that there would be no ramifications or blowback from decisions like this one. So I would love to see the mindset and what maybe some executives were thinking and talking about when they actually did this.
Right. And Miss Carano here is going to end up being a token of the culture war, I think, because most of the comments that she made were not that far off base from a large segment of the population saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this. Maybe you shouldn't treat your neighbors this way. Hey, why do I have to do this medical procedure when it's not thoroughly tested out? Why are you firing people, and why are you trying to demonize them because they're questioning whether or not this experimental thing is well, experimental instead of what they were claiming is that it's fully formed. Whatever. I probably shouldn't go too far down this path here, but she was asking a lot of questions that were not that crazy and not that far off base. And the call to love each other, by the way, was similar to some of the claims made by the post made by Carl Weathers, who I think we all love Carl Weathers, and Pedro Pascal, who I think we all can appreciate the performances that he did in The Mandalorian. Good actor, I'll say that. Other artists in this industry, however, Carano goes on, should take notice. Most of you already know, and I appreciate all the messages of support. I see two things that are being pointed out here. Other artists in the industry should take notice. I feel like that's a warning not to deal with Disney.
Yes, I would say so. When Gina Carano was fired, and even when Scarlett Johansson went through her shindig with the Walt Disney Company and so forth, that I think that was a sign for a lot of talent out there, like, hey, you better reevaluate whether or not you really want to work with this company, because they won't necessarily stand by you.
Right. Because at the Disney company, stories matter unless they're not the story that the Disney company wants to tell. I think this is a fair warning because they got rid of her, and she only found out because it was posted to social media, and they made a pretty nasty statement about her when they did it. So even if it was at the end of a contract, it still came out as a firing because Lucasfilm in particular wanted it to look like a firing. So Kathleen Kennedy, yeah, that's good on you, ma'am. I hope you show up in the lawsuit. Most of you already know, and I appreciate all the messages of support. I don't think she's throwing shade at people here, but when I read this, I think that she's getting a lot of private messages from people in the industry that are telling her that they hope she wins, or that they're supporting her here, because I don't think everybody is confident that they should be supporting Gina Carano if they're worried about the health of their career. I think that this is something where Disney is a very powerful company, and going against this particular ideology that got Gina Carano fired is dangerous for a career in Hollywood. But that being said, let's point to this next one here. I thought you preach about listening to all women. Am I getting that right, Hollywood? Every ounce of me is a woman, and I'm ready to be listened to. That's a powerful statement right there. I like it, by the way. Yep. Vash, should you believe all women at all times?
Well, I don't make a distinction on gender on who I listen to and who I don't. So that's an important.
I set you up. That was a horrible setup there. No, you do not believe all women at all times, just like you do not believe all men at all times, or disbelieve anyone based on their immutable characteristics here. I love it though, because she's pointing to this idea right here, and Will, the second to last statement is almost my favorite statement here, but let's go with the third. Double standards, hypocrisy, discrimination, things need to change, and they know it, and so does everyone else. Agreed. Here's my second to favorite statement. Court date set June 12th in Los Angeles. Oh, it's going to be amazing. That's 2 weeks from now. And there's going to be a lot to cover. We'll cover whatever comes down the pike, but we are personally interested, just like our audience is, in finding out what happens with this lawsuit. I don't know that this is going to change the world, but I think everybody wants this to go to discovery. Everybody wants to know what exactly has gone on inside of Lucasfilm, because things have changed in Lucasfilm more than just George Lucas left the company. Something is different over there at Skywalker Ranch and the San Francisco headquarters. But of course, my favorite, pray with me, level heads prevail. Vash, you were going to say something.
That is definitely my favorite statement right there for sure. But Jonas, I mean, June 12th, you got to think. June 4th, I think, is the premiere of The Acolyte, and you were just talking about what has been going on inside of the halls of Lucasfilm. I think we're going to get some major insight on all of these things in June. I think that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's a fairly good point. So there might be a system on YouTube going on right now where the acolyte, whether or not advertising paid to YouTube, boosts up Star Wars in the algorithm, and it might have the added benefit of boosting up Gina Carano in YouTube search algorithms, which is a fascinating idea. May backfire on Disney a little bit, have their own ad dollars accidentally be used against them, especially if the audience on YouTube is not interested in hearing about the Acolyte, but is instead wanting to know what happened with the most popular Star Wars franchise since, I'm going to say 2015. All right, with that, we want to throw this to our commenters. What do you think about Gina Carano's statements? Are you looking forward to the trial? Is this something that should have been resolved behind closed doors? Where did the problems start? And how is it going to be finished? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Of course, like this video if you like this video, and consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.